Yeah, good evening. Actually, it is afternoon here in Nigeria.
Yeah, good afternoon to all the students, and good evening to everybody in India.
Afternoon.
Uh,
And evening.
Good afternoon here in Nigeria.
It is well.
okay.
Can we,
Can you start?
yeah, let us
ma'am?
start. Let us
Yes.
start, family. Yes, Smriti.
Let us start. But first, I would like to request all the learners to please mute your mic. Otherwise, it would not be easy to listen to each and every speaker. And first of all, very good evening and good afternoon, and somewhere it is good morning also. I welcome all the learners from various countries in the world's largest university, Indira Gandhi National Open University. Here we are going to have a program-based induction meeting, and in which we'll be able to learn how to learn about the university as well as how to learn in this PG diploma program which you are pursuing. We have in panel Dr. Professor Uma Madhuri, who was program coordinator and faculty of PG Diploma in Disaster Management. We have our regional director, Dr. B. Toms, and we have some academic counselors who will take your classes in coming sessions, Dr. Rajiv Kohli. And me, I'm Dr. Smriti Garga. I have already been connected with you through various modes. So I think you are familiar with me. I'm Assistant Regional Director in Indira Gandhi National Open University, Regional Center Bhopal. So, and now my colleague, Dr. Anshuman Upadhyay, he is also here. He is Deputy Director in Indira Gandhi National Open University, Regional Center Bhopal. So, first, I would like to request my Regional Director, Dr. Bini Toms, to give her blessing words and a small introduction about IGNOU and its activities.
Thank you, Smriti. I welcome each one to this induction meeting. Greetings from the Indira Gandhi National Open University in India. Last week, you all listened to our Honorable Vice Chancellor. He had addressed the students under the E-Vidya Bharati project who were enrolled into different programs of the university from the continent of Africa. And today we are specifically here for those students who are admitted into the postgraduate diploma in disaster management. If I talk about the Indira Gandhi National Open University, it is a central university. It is one of the largest universities, most popular universities in the world, offering education in the open and distance learning mode. Talking about its inception, it was established in the year 1985 with an act of the Parliament of India with just 5,000 students, and today it has grown into a university with 3.5 million learners who are enrolled into about 250 programs of the university. The university has been declared as the Center of Excellence by the Commonwealth of Learning. So I will compliment each one of you for choosing IGNOU, and I can say that you're in one of the best places for your education, for your learning, and we assure you of all our support in your learning journey. If I talk about IGNOU, it has a network of region. At the headquarters, it has the schools of studies. Your program, it is housed in the School of Social Sciences, and there we have faculty, professors who have developed your program. We have with us Professor Uma Meduri, who is the program coordinator. Along with her, we also have Professor Dolly Matthew, who is associated with this program. So they are the program coordinators who have the academic understanding and expertise of this program, and she'll be briefing you on how to continue with the program. Also, we have with us my colleagues, Dr. Smriti Garga, who is coordinating the E-Vidya Bharati project for the students who have enrolled into IGNOU's programs from this center. Also on the program is my colleague, Dr. Anshuman Upadhyay, and some of our counselors in IGNOU The teachers are called as academic counselors, and few of our academic counselors have also joined this meeting. Dr. Kohli, Dr. Sarvani, I think they've joined the meeting, and I welcome each one of you. I was talking to you about the structure of IGNOU. IGNOU at the headquarters has got schools, other operational divisions for evaluation, registration, material distribution, and so on. It has a network of regional centers, 57 regional centers, about 50,000 academic counselors or teachers spread across the length and breadth of India. You are attached to one of the regional centers, which is Regional Center Bhopal. This is located in the central part of India in a state called Madhya Pradesh. And it would be like enough for you to understand that this regional center, which is one of the 57 regional centers of IGNOU, will be your single window interface with the university. So for any kind of administrative or academic support, you have to contact us at the Regional Center Bhopal. You have received a welcome mail from a dedicated email ID. So you can contact us on that email ID. You also have a WhatsApp group. You can share your concerns, your queries, seek clarifications on that WhatsApp group also. So with these words, I once again welcome each one of you. I congratulate and compliment you for taking admission into IGNOU. And I just hope and pray that you'll have a great learning journey with IGNOU. So with these words, I'll hand over the platform to Smriti, and maybe we can ask Professor Uma to talk about the academic part of the program, the components, the way to go about with the program. And then you and Dr. Anshuman can talk about the support services specifically that we'll be providing. And then we can take questions from the students at the end. The students can also write in the chat box. If any query comes to your mind, you can keep writing in the chat box. So over to Smriti.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Now I invite Dr. Uma Madhuri, ma'am, to give a brief introduction and insight about the PG Diploma in Disaster Management Program.
Thank you, Dr. Bini and Dr. Smriti. And we welcome you all to this prestigious project under which you are pursuing this postgraduate diploma in disaster management. Like before, I think the students are from 4 countries, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am. Various countries, more than 4 countries, mostly from African countries.
Yes. And very happy to see you all. And before I just wanted to tell you about, the disasters are something which I think all of us, all the countries face. Only thing is the nature of the disasters, the type of the disasters, they keep varying. It could be floods, it could be cyclones, it could be earthquakes. And whenever a disaster happens, why is it, like, before I go into the structure of the program, like, I would just like to tell you why is the management of disasters is becoming an increasing concern across the countries. Because we all know that any disaster happens, it brings a lot of destruction and of human life, livestock, property, infrastructure, and on top of it, there is a lot of a psychological, the persons are displaced when the houses are destroyed. So it is a very, very holistic approach that we need to adopt towards managing disasters. So this postgraduate diploma in disaster management program, it gives you an overview of the various important facets of the disaster management cycle. We call it a disaster management cycle, which includes preparedness, mitigation, recovery, response, rehabilitation, and reconstruction. Because we all know that certain disasters, a disaster is different from a hazard. Like hazard is something we know that, something, it is very dangerous and like a hazardous substance, we say, which is a poisonous substance. But when one consumes it or when somebody consumes it, then it becomes a disaster. Then you have to control it. So similarly, when an earthquake, flood, cyclone, anything happens, so you need to manage it. It is not that a disaster has happened, the relief comes in, governments pour in the aid, everything. But then we need to see that such disasters do not happen, and accordingly, the reconstruction and the rehabilitation also takes place. Another important thing I would like to tell you is there is a link between disasters and development. Okay, disasters halt the development. They affect the development process in any country. We know that all the countries have limited resources. So when these resources are used on various activities when a disaster happens, the development projects really may not get that much of money. But this is one aspect. But the other thing is when a disaster happens, or we know that when I know that my country is prone to these disasters, I plan the things in the country in such a way that the disasters are minimized. Like we may not completely stop the disasters to happen, but the after effects of the disasters can be minimized to the extent possible. So this program on disaster management, actually it is a 32 credit program. It is a postgraduate diploma and 32 credit. What is a credit in an open university system? A credit is a student, the time that a student spends on the various activities relating to the pursuing of the program. You will be seeing the study material on your LMS. So you go through the material. In between, you find check your progress exercises. You can just note down the points there. Okay. And then you will be asked to do one assignment for each course. So you have to do the assignment and upload it. And finally, like you will be asked to give the term end exam. Also, the audios and videos relating to the program will be there on the LMS. So all these put together, the time that is consumed in pursuing the program, we measure in terms of credits. So that is a 32 credit program. And we have 8 courses. 8 courses. The first course is Understanding Natural Disasters. This is a 4 credit course. And we expect that in a 4 credit course, you will be spending around 100 study hours. Like we call it a study hours. We measure in terms of study hours. The time you spend on going through the material, preparing for the assignments, term and exam, counseling. Counseling is a very important aspect. Now we have Dr. Rajiv Kohli here as an academic counselor. Actually, he worked with us, with the faculty, on this area of disaster management in developing the course material. When you look at the course material, you find his name at various places. He is an expert in the area of disaster management. So all this put together determines the study hours. So the first course, which is a 4 credit course, it deals with the natural disasters. See, we focused on disasters like earthquake, flood, cyclone, and drought. Drought, famine, all these things. So in this course, we tell you the characteristic features of all these disasters. And in brief, under each disaster, we have given some examples. Of course, these examples could be from India. So you can always relate it to the disasters that occur in your country. But it gives you a basic understanding of the various types of natural disasters. Generally, these are categorized as natural disasters. So, in brief, in this course, when you discuss earthquake, you will find in that what are the preparedness measures, what are the mitigation. What do you understand by mitigation? Mitigation is something like preventing. Preparedness is to prepare ourselves before any disaster strikes. So about preparedness, about mitigation, and what to do when a disaster happens, all these in brief, it is dealt with in this course. So this is the first course. The second course is Understanding Man-Made Disasters. What are man-made disasters? They are chemical disasters, biological disasters, nuclear disasters. So all these are dealt with in detail in the second course, which is also a 4-credit course. I think Dr. Bini will be taking up questions after I give a brief thing. There are some queries, I think. So
Yes,
once
yes.
I give a brief overview, we can take your questions.
First you can complete and then we can take
Yeah. So all these things, like for example, air pollution, water pollution, deforestation, all these disasters, these are creation of human beings. We all are responsible for these disasters to happen to a large extent. So the second course focuses, we call them as man-made or human-induced disasters. The third course is risk assessment and vulnerability analysis. So we all know that there are certain risks associated with these disasters. What are those risks? This is explained in detail, and how vulnerable, whenever a disaster happens, the livestock gets affected, the women are the most affected. There are certain vulnerable sections of the society who get affected. So how do you analyze? How does the government has various tools and techniques in it with it to analyze the vulnerability. So all these things are discussed in this course, the third course on risk assessment and vulnerability analysis. Now, the fourth is disaster preparedness. How does one prepare for the disasters? We all know that when disasters happen, or who are the stakeholders? Who are the actors who are involved in this? The governments, for example, in India, we have a government at the central level, we have at the state level, district level, below, at the grassroots level, and the community. See, basically, whenever something happens, for example, an accident happens, who is the one who is the first responder? Who responds to it? The person who is going there, who is going on the street, wherever it is, the community. Suppose an air crash happens near a village. So the villagers first rush. So the community-based disaster preparedness is also a very important aspect of disaster preparedness. So in this course, basically, we discuss about the roles and responsibilities of the governments at various levels, about the various paramilitary organizations, Army, Air Force, Navy, and also the community. Now we come to the fifth course, which is disaster response. Response is something, okay, a disaster has happened. How does one respond? How do governments respond? We all know that when disaster happens, the international agencies also come together. You have UN agencies coming together. So this course deals in detail about the role of all these international agencies and how do they all put in their efforts together. What is the relief measures? What is the minimum food supply that is given, water, everything. This discusses in detail. Now the sixth course is disaster medicine. Disaster medicine is the health approach to managing disasters. How are the patients when a disaster happens? We call there is a technique called triage. We sort out the patients, the victims, who are the ones who need the hospitalization or the medical aid first, who are the second. So all these things are dealt with in disaster medicine. What is the role of the primary health center, hospitals, everybody? So all these things are discussed in disaster medicine. Now, the seventh course is rehabilitation, reconstruction, and recovery. So a disaster has happened. Now you have to rehabilitate them. So rehabilitation is not just building houses. You also have to think about economic rehabilitation. How are you going to give the livelihood? See, they have lost their cattle, they have lost their employment, somebody must be a local artisan, they have lost this thing. How does the government plan to rehabilitate them? How is the reconstruction done of the houses, buildings? There are certain building norms and codes that need to be adhered to. So all these are dealt with in detail, which helps them in recovery. Ultimately, they have to recover. And in this, we also talk about the social and the psychological rehabilitation. There is something like post-traumatic stress disorder, where, the victims are really in a shock. They have fear, panic, like, they have seen their near and dear suffering there. Some may have lost the lives of their own kith and kin. So all this. So this course deals with this in detail. Now, about the 8th one, I would like to say that here you have to exercise an option. Either you take a course that is towards participatory management, it is also a 4-credit course, or you can opt for a project. So what you have to do in a project is prepare a synopsis, brief. Like, for example, you want to see how the community's preparedness is in your area, where you live. So you can take a topic on this. See, we have listed out the topics in our project guide, broad areas over which you can do your dissertation or the project of 10,000 words. So you need to prepare a brief proposal where you indicate what you want to do, what are the objectives of your study, everything briefly. Then you get it approved by your counselor and then start preparing the project and then upload it. So it is up to you, depending on your time. Suppose you do not have time or anything, then you can opt for the other course, which is towards participatory management. It is like any other course, like you can read it, give the assignment, and then give the term and exam. So you please keep your convenience, your interest in mind, and then you can choose between the two. So it's very essential that you choose between the course or the project. So this is in brief about the postgraduate diploma in disaster management, which is a 32 credit course with these 8 courses, the 8th one being a project or a course. And you will be getting a set of assignment questions which you need to prepare. And then this you can do it, I think, once the counseling starts, you get acquainted with the study material. Because what we do is our instructionals, our study material, we call it as self-instructional material. We have a teacher inbuilt into it. Like every lesson, what you call it in that, it is broken up into several subsections. And then in between you have given check your progress exercises, and then you have good counselors with you, and I don't see any problem, and I'm sure that you will find the program very interesting. And as Dr. Bini has said, you have our email IDs, so you can always write to us for any queries, and we are happy to resolve your queries and interact with you. So any questions we have?
Thank you, Uma ma'am. That was really wonderful. You've explained it in detail and in a very simple language. I'm sure everybody has been able to understand the structure. Now, once you go through the study material yourself, you will be relate to what ma'am has just told you more clearly. So I think
I didn't want to bombard them with so many things. First, let them get used to it,
Right.
because they have to enjoy doing this program.
Very true, very true. So they'll have to go through the LMS, go through their materials, and of course, then if you watch the recording, you'll be able to really relate to what Professor Uma Meduri has been trying to tell you. So now over to Smriti. Maybe we can call Anshuman to talk about the structure, and also Rajiv Kohli is here, and any other academic counselor, and definitely then we'll take questions from the students. Keep your questions ready. We'll take them one by one. Smriti, over to Smriti.
Yeah, thank you very much, ma'am, Uma madam, and Dr. Mini ma'am. I request Dr. Anshuman Upadhyay to please give a brief about the IGNOU's structure, and especially about self-learning material and assignments.
Thank you, Dr. Smriti. Once again, I welcome all the students for this project, and from Regional Center Bhopal as well as from IGNOU New Delhi. Madam Uma has very elaborately told you everything about it, and it is a very nice thing not to bombard much of the information, because sometimes information clogging also occurs and people get confused. But to simplify, I would just like to tell you, just download the program guide of the program. That is a very, very important document when you go for any ODL system, open and distance learning system, or online system. In IGNOU, we have a program guide which gives you every direction how this program would be carried out. What are your expectations? What are your courses? When you have to submit the assignments, and for other updated details, you will be informed about examinations and examination form. Whatever that will be informed to you. So it is better to always go through the program guide. Second thing, as ma'am has told you, Uma ma'am, that there is a teacher inbuilt in the self-instructional material, which we now call it self-learning material. So you have to go by that, and there are subsections. Suppose you are starting to study, we have units. What you have called chapters in book, we call it unit in our instructional material. When you start reading the unit, you should always read the first paragraph. That is an introduction. Generally, people miss that unit. After that introduction, there are 4 to 5 objectives given in every unit. Read through those objectives very thoroughly. Once you go through those objectives, you will come to know what the teachers or the makers of this unit intend to tell you through their writings in the further paragraphs. So you have to go through all 2, 3, 4 objectives, whatever the objectives are given, and then you start reading the material. Suppose you are reading the material and there is some hard spot or something difficult which you are not able to understand, please note it down so that we can discuss during the academic counseling, and our academic counselors will elaborate those hard spots or those case studies or those difficulties which you need to be elaborated. Even there is a issue of peer discussions. Even your peers can also discuss. People from different countries are there, and we can discuss the nature of disasters and the mitigation adaptation measures which are being taken. Good practices can also be discussed during these peer interactions. And when you write all these things while attempting your examination, definitely you will be getting very good marks. Because theory as well as the practical aspect which you have been faced or seen in your country, that will give you a very good marks and good expression about any question which will be asked during the examination. Second aspect is the assignment, which ma'am has given you an introduction about it. Assignment is like a homework, a set of questions which are given to you. You have to go through the study material, then there will be counseling sessions, and during that process you have to write these assignments and you have to submit it on LMS. Recently there has been a decision, generally as per IGNOU rules, the assignment has to be written in your own handwriting, but still there has been a provision that typed assignments is also now allowed for this OL learning platform through LMS. I think I am right, Dr. Smriti Garg? Typed assignment can also be submitted in LMS portal.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. For this, especially for eVidya Bharati project, it's allowed.
So it is up to you, whatever you are comfortable, but the ethos of the assignment is reinforcement of the learning. So what you have learned while by reading the text, the self-instruction material, and then discussion during the counseling sessions, peer discussions, then you have to attempt those assignments which bear a 30% weightage in your overall evaluation mechanism. So the ethos of the assignment is to reinforce your learning, and it is in form of the questions which you have to answer by understanding, assimilating all the material, all the case studies or all your experiences, and then you have to write the assignments and you have to submit on the LMS portal. The different guidelines and directions will be issued time and again about all these things. But once you submit your assignments, the teacher, the academic counselors will evaluate and will give you some feedback which you can incorporate, while preparing for your examinations. So this is the mechanism how a feedback is being given through the assignments, and your learning will progress. One more thing I would like to tell you, that the academic counseling will only be fruitful when you go through the material, because the first inbuilt teacher is in the self-learning material. and the academic counseling which will be conducted through the academic counselors from India. They will be complementing and supplementing whatever given in the material. They will be trying to solve your hotspots or any difficulty which you will raise, and they will encourage a peer discussion and an environment, a platform for peer learning. So this will only be useful when you go through the study material prior coming to the counseling session. One thing, since it is on all online, so I would also request you to kindly sit at a place where internet connectivity is good, and you can ask the question. And some of the people may have faced some difficulty in accent of the English, but try to understand, and you can repeat as many times as you want about any question which you want to ask. So this is a brief outline which I wanted to share with you about the self-learning material, about the assignment, and about the academic counseling. And the expectations you must have from the academic counseling is that your every difficulty which you are facing while reading the material, your any aspect, your self-check exercises or the questions which is given in the end of the units or the chapters, that should be that should be enlightened to you during the academic counseling. But that will only happen if you go through the units, and then you will note down your difficulties if you have any. But the system, the ODL mechanism, the IGNOU material is written in such a scientific way that 90 to 95% things you will grasp if you read once or twice. Suppose you have read the whole chapter, the whole unit, then revisit the objectives and you try to find how many objectives you have gained. If suppose out of 4 you have gained 3 objectives, try to again analyze the 4th objective which you have not understood, so that you understand all the objectives given in the chapter, in the unit, and after the introduction chapter. So these were small guidelines which I would like to give you. Once again, I welcome you on behalf of IGNOU Regional Center Bhopal and IGNOU New Delhi, and assure you all the facilities, all the student support which we can extend to you for completing this education. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir, for the very elaborative as well as precise details about the IGNOU structure and assignment preparation. Now, with permission of Dr. Binny Toms, Dr. Binny Toms, can we start the question answer session now?
Yes, Smriti, please go ahead.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. I think some of the learners have already started writing very, detailed questions, and one of the question has been answered by Uma ma'am also. So first, I would take the questions written in the chat box, and then we'll go one by one by raise hands. So you can raise hands, and in a queue we'll take questions. So first I'll take the question of which is written here in the chat box, that it seems to me that this Harasilito is asking, it seems to me that this program will give us both theoretical and practical knowledge. How will we practice the course? Will we use softwares? So, ma'am, I would like, Uma ma'am, I would like to
Actually, this is like this course, as we were saying, it is not a very technical, it is a general program. Like, it orients the learners with the theory, and then keeping that in mind, like you can keep in mind whenever a disaster related aspect has to be managed, you can apply those principles to managing the situation. So it gives you, first, when I know the knowledge about the theoretical aspects, I'll be able to apply it. Like I was explaining to you about community-based disaster preparedness. Like there is something like community has to prepare a plan. So first I should know how a plan has to be made. So, this course orients the learners with these aspects, so that when really some of you, if you are working on that, like you can develop a community disaster preparedness plan. So it's something like this. So it tries to blend the theory and the practical. And as I was saying, the project work, like it is a sort of a practical thing where you really can take up a topic which in where you can apply the practical aspect of it, learning the theory. So it is up to you. So you can base it on the primary resources and a blend of both primary and secondary resources when you make the project report. And second question was on the credit, like how is it rated? So see, it is not that the learners are rated on the time spent. So whenever we develop a study material, so we use the word credit, keeping like how much information is to be given to the students, how many units are to be there, and the time to be spent on counseling. That we assess and say that this is of a 4-credit course. So the students are not assessed on the time spent. Only thing is we expect the students and the learners to spend time, divide the time between these things, going through the material, attend the counseling session, attempt the assignments, and prepare for the term and examinations, and whatever audios, videos are there, whenever they have time to listen to them. So there is nothing like we are going to assess you on the time spent. You have to divide the time and then gain knowledge.
So, thank you, ma'am. Very well answered. Actually, learners need to understand like credit. Don't be confused with credit, as ma'am say. In IGNOU, all the programs which are developed, we calculate them scientifically. Where we calculate them that how much time a student should give to studies for this program, and this includes your academic counseling, your writing of assignments and other things also. And we don't do such rating on how much time you are on online and on. It's not like that, so don't worry for that. And moreover, our like practical and theory question was there, so you can always relate with your practical experiences in past life or present. With the theory, you'll be easily able to connect all the theories with your practical experiences and then in project. So now we can start taking more questions from if you want to ask any question, you need to raise hand. Yes, ma'am. Ma'am.
No, there is something on the schedule of our academic calendar. I think they are talking about I think they are the July batch, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
Admission got delayed.
More questions. So now onwards, we will take questions from.
Maybe we can take those 2 questions. We can answer about the academic counseling schedule. Maybe we can tell them that we'll be uploading it soon, and they want to know about exams also.
Okay. Okay.
Ma'am, exams.
We are going to share academic counseling schedule with you. And we are preparing the schedule like we are having 2 weekdays, Thursday and Friday at 7 p.m. India, which is around 2:30 in Nigeria, and like in Malawi, Mozambique, it's 3:30, so it's like that. And on Saturday, Sundays, we are taking. We will plan 2 classes. One
I think I
yeah. Yes, ma'am. You want to add something?
No. I was just saying. I wanted to tell them that don't worry about exam. First, you just enjoy the program, and regarding the exam, you will be giving, because you need to complete the counseling session assignments. And I think the regional center will be updating you. You will be getting the information. So don't worry now. Don't think about exam. Just join. You have enrolled in the program. Enjoy reading the material and enjoying all the aspects of the program. That's what I wanted to say.
That's so wonderful, ma'am. And now we can take questions. You can raise hand, and one by one we can. I can see only one raise hand from George Wiseman. So George, you can ask your query first, and then we can go for next one. In between, you can raise hand if you want. If all the learners, if you are having any query, any doubt, you can raise hand and one by one we'll take the questions. Okay, first George Wiseman, if you're there, please ask your query.
I think he had already asked his question through chat about the number of hours spent online.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
He has some difficulty with his microphone, it seems.
Okay, he asked his question. Okay. Then now Dumba Sam, you can ask your question.
Yes. Good evening. I just want to ask one thing regarding the LMS system. I tried logging in. I think we have engaged with the director some times ago regarding logging into the system, which I tried using the username and then the password. It failed. So I don't know if there's a way so that we can be oriented, so that we can be able to get into the system and be able to access all the other learning materials. Over.
Okay, I need to tell you that you please write me an email in reply email of this EVB _ PGDDM @ignou.sc.in. You write me an email clearly that you are not able to log into LMS system, and I'll forward it to concerned authority. It will be sorted, no issue. And in between, I have already sent study material in email to all the learners. You must have seen yesterday. So in between, this problem is going to be solved. Till then, you can go through that study material which I have sent you through email. And send me an email regarding your issue. I'll forward it to the concerned authority. Okay.
In addition to what Smriti has said, in addition to that, I would like to add that recently we had a meeting with the director of the Center for Online Learning, which hosts this LMS for you all. And they are planning to have a session with the students on the use of LMS. So that is anyway going to be there. But other than that, what Dr. Smriti just said, whatever is your problem, specifically write it down on the email and send it to us so that we can sort it out.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. And after that, Mohammed Rabiu, you can ask your query. Please unmute yourself and then ask your query.
Okay. So thank you very much for this presentation. My question is regarding the counseling session. Is it going to be a teacher-student session where the teacher teaches the students, or each student is expected to go through the material first before coming to attend the session? Thank you.
Actually, Rajiv Kohli sir is also with us. He can answer this query. Rajiv sir, are you there?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
He's asking that it's going to be a teacher-student session, or we need to study before attending the academic counseling.
Yeah, that's very nice that you are thinking about it. See, the counseling, the material, your study material that has been sent to you, actually that covers everything. That is your syllabus. That is your everything which you have to learn is in that. All other things would be helping in learning that particular aspect. So you have to read and read again and read carefully, as has been told by all the other learned speakers before. You know, in the sequence you have to learn, you have to go through it in a manner as was told to you, that what does it stand for, what the objectives mean. All this has been written in a very systematic and in a very special manner. So this itself can help you. But the counseling sessions, they are there to counsel you. If you come prepared, if you have read earlier, come prepared for it, then you can ask questions which you have got doubt or you have not understood. So that will be the best use of the counseling sessions. Otherwise, the counselor will go through what he thinks is important. They will cover uh, all the aspects, but they will only cover the important aspect. The time is not sufficient to take lectures as in a regular mode. This is a online distance mode. The books will help you, so you must read. In fact, most important thing is the books which have been given, and you should. In fact, it is advised that you should always carry at least one of the books with you, always with you. When you get up in the morning, you can read. You are going to office, you are traveling in bus or you are traveling in train, you can read. So they are made in such manner you can read little bit, then continue reading later. And anytime you can read because that is important. Now, I would suggest that there are 7 courses. So start reading all the courses, the first unit of each course first. So that will give you an understanding what that course is about. Uh, then everybody is always thinking about the grading, the assessment system, and all assessment system is very simple. Uh, 70% is for the term and examination. One exam will be there per paper, and 30% is for the assignment. So you should take it that this assignment is there to help you get very good grade, because this you are doing in your own time. So don't delay. The problem some which the student face is that they start working very late. So you should start immediately. And if you progress immediately, you start working on the assignment. So definitely you will be able to do it well in time and do it very well. Uh, Next thing I would like to emphasize is your answering technique, whether it's in the final examination, term and exam, or in this exam. The question must be understood. Answer only the relevant aspect. Answer within the word limit. The word limits are given. That's a guide for you. You can go a little bit up and down, but that is the guide. You must follow that and answer in a very clear manner. Uh, Cover with headings, very properly giving the headings and in point form if possible. Cover the various points. So definitely you will do very well. Another aspect is in this course, those who have opted for the project. Uh, Again, like the other courses here, and you should start with the project work also immediately. Start selecting the topic. That's very important. The topic should be such that you can work on it, and then we can help you further on that aspect. So, to conclude, I'll again say that start reading. That book which is given to you contains everything. It gives you everything which everybody has previously in detail mentioned how it is to be gone through. So go through it, do your assignments, and in the end, prepare automatically. You will prepare for the term exam. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for the detailed insight regarding how to use the study material, and you should and what is the importance of study material in IGNOU's program. So now we can have Mohammad Kader Ali for his question here. Mohammad Kader, you can ask your question, please.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
First, I wanna say thank you all. My first question is when our session expect to begin. I want to know. My last question is can I be one of beneficiaries this program plus another one in the scholarship for India? Or I mean scholarship India for Africa in 2 program. So can I do that way or limited? That's my question. I hope it is understood.
Okay. Ma'am, Dr. Mini, ma'am, would you like to answer his question?
The first question was about. The first question was about.
First one was from where he want to know that from which date or which time the session has begun.
Yeah. Just go.
Second,
Okay. Yeah, second I remember. Yeah. Okay. So the first one, the session has already begun. The admissions, due to various reasons, were late, and therefore your session is already going on. So without any further delay, now since the admissions are over, immediately we have the Vice Chancellor has addressed you, and now we have done the specific induction meeting. That is the first introductory meeting for your program, and immediately within a day or two, we will be giving you the academic counseling, or the timetable, as you can call it, the schedule for your teaching, and your classes will begin immediately. Other than that, the assignment, for the assignment also, the questions would be given to you. We'll give you the link whereby you can get the questions for your assignment. So assignment submission is, so in a way, you can say that your session has already begun. Just go ahead, start reading your materials. Your classes schedule will be given to you. Attend your classes regularly. Prepare your assignments. As Uma ma'am very rightly said, just you're already there. Just begin your journey and enjoy it every moment. And you have some time for your exams. Okay. And then regarding the second part, I'm not sure about how are the rules in your country, but as far as India is concerned, we have, as per the new regulations, there are 2 degrees can be done at a time. Or you can, earlier also with the degree you could do a certificate or a diploma, and now you can even do 2 degrees at a time. So you can just find out in your country how are things. And regarding scholarship for more than one program, as part of this project, that you will have to check, because we are not aware of that, whether you can get scholarships at a time for 2 programs. That you'll have to check with your concerned sponsor. And as far as doing 2 degrees at a time, that you can do, as far as Indian regulations are concerned. Does that answer your question, Mohammed Khadir?
Yes. Thank you. I understood.
Okay. Okay, now I think no other learners have raised hand for an inquiry, and
I have a question.
Yes, please.
Thank you. I'm Heraclito from Mozambique. I saw the assignment, and I checked the deadline for the submission of the assignment. I think the submission is due to March 2023. So I know that most of the students, they are having some difficulties in accessing to the assignments and the all materials. So my question is, regarding to the deadline that is in the assignment, which is March, I think is not much convenient for most of the students that are not able to access the material in the assignment. Then there is the issue of reading the material and understanding the material so that they can do well, like it's being explained here. We need to enjoy the course. We need to make sure that we understand, we go through all courses, that material that are available. But if we check the deadline for the submission is very close, and the quantity of the questions that are recommended to answer as well in terms of the words. It said that we have to answer each question at the minimum of 400 words. So it means that if we go through almost all 8 courses, we have to submit the assignment at the end of March. I think, I don't know, for me, I feel it like it's going to be challenging. I don't know about my colleagues, other colleagues, because I just saw the assignment before yesterday. And if I check the time, I don't know if it's going to be helpful. I don't know how are we going to manage with the issue of the submission of the assignment.
Smriti, let me take that question before I invite Uma ma'am also to add to what I'm saying.
Yes.
First thing is about accessing the questions and accessing the study materials. For that, don't worry. Anyway, you're going to have an orientation on using the LMS. Besides that, we will also be sending you the links of your study material.
Ma'am, already I have sent it in attachment.
Yes, and again, and regarding how to prepare the assignments, maybe Uma ma'am can talk about it, as they feel it like they are taking it. They don't have to be pressurized on making assignments. Please, ma'am, you can guide them.
Yes,
ma'am, your mic is mute. Like, please unmute yourself.
and even the picture.
Dr. Bini, I think their concern is the last date for submission. That is what.
Yeah, for last date, definitely we will convey it to the.
It shall be conveyed to the authorities, so don't worry about it. I think your concerns are really genuine and it will be taken care of. Please don't worry about that. And Dr. Bini and the concerned, the Center for Online, and they will, and you will first, that's what I said. First, let us start with the counseling, and then your concerns are genuine and it will be taken care of. Don't worry about that. That assurance I think we all can give, isn't it, Dr. Bini?
Yes, definitely.
Yes,
definitely we'll do that.
So I have another question. We know that we are so lucky because we under the Indian scholarship that is really helping us. But the session will need data, so we have to buy data and some other facilities. Are there even maybe mentioned within the scholarship the possibility of helping students with buying the data or not?
It's again actually Bini ma'am already told you in earlier question that regarding the scholarship we are not able to answer you. Regarding scholarship and your sponsors, you need to write to them only, isn't it, ma'am?
Yes, I think so, because
And
although this matter
even you can write.
this concern would be conveyed by us also to the authorities, but maybe the way you're sponsored, you'll have to take it up with them. But definitely this concern will be shared with the authorities making the admissions, the registration division.
I think
What do you say, ma'am?
they can send an email to you and you can forward it to COE and let them, because I'm sure a group is working on it, so they can certain things relating to scholarship and the time,
Yes.
what they are needed. I think they can email it to you or whatever the designated email ID, and it can be forwarded to the concerned.
Yes, that's a good suggestion. So I would advise you, Rodriguez, to please send a detailed mail about your concern for data and so on, and we will pass it on to the COE, the center which handles this project, and maybe the registration division also. So please send us a detailed mail about this concern on the email ID from which you got your welcome mail.
Thank you. And my last question is a request, is not a question actually. I received the admission letter that accept me as a student. Yes, it's okay. But is it possible to have the official letter from the university that will make me like an official student, not through email? I think if it's possible to provide to a student official letter for the admission letters that we are admitted to set at the Indira Gandhi Open University. Is it possible?
For that also, do send us an email and we will convey the same.
Actually, ma'am, I want to take this. Mr. Robin Comia. Actually, this issue is already in concern of the university. In the last induction meeting, when the Vice Chancellor was interacting with the learners, it was assured that we are going to send all the learners a formal letter. So don't worry for that.
No, but you can even
Thank you.
write to us.
Yeah, you can again write to us, and it's under consideration of by the university.
Sorry, who am I going to write it to? Because there are
Then
many,
write in this email
emails, there are many contacts, so I don't know who am I going to write to.
Actually, you should write to this contact only, evb_pgddm@ignou.sa.in.
This is
Thank
the
you.
email. This is the email from which you got your welcome mail.
Thank
So
you.
write to us. Write to me, the Regional Director, IGNOU Regional Center, Bhopal. Okay.
Okay, I hope you are satisfied now, and we can take another query if someone is having any query. If you, dear learners, if you are having any query, you can ask. Otherwise, we need to close this meeting. So, ma'am, with your permission, if let me check once the chat box. If
No, I don't think there is any. I checked it. I don't think.
Okay, ma'am. So, with your permission, if you say, ma'am.
So I think we had a wonderful session.
Yeah,
Ma'am
yeah,
will agree
great,
that we had a great session.
Sorry, I just came back.
Okay.
You come back after your prayers.
Yes,
Thanks.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah. He had taken permission to go.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Yes, I just came back, and later on I will follow up by the recording.
Very happy
Yes,
to have
yes, please do
students
that.
like you who are so disciplined, that matters as student discipline is like we're very happy. And
This is really
you
important. Compliments for that.
Yeah.
Because in an online meeting, if you have taken a permission, came
so
back.
really,
Really.
we are very.
Thank you. I have a little question. I have one question.
Please go ahead.
Please, on all the learning materials you gave out, I think most of the examples are concerned with the in India. But when answering an assignment, are we going to do it with regard to our own disasters in our country?
We have taken care of that. Yes, ma'am.
I think when the counseling takes place, I'm sure Dr. Anshuman and Dr. Kohli will be, relating it with, because this program was tailor-made to the Indian context. So it doesn't mean that, and we'll be very happy when you link it with examples in your country. And then, there is no this thing on it. You should, and then it's always welcome when you relate it. That is an indication that you have understood the theory and the practical things you are juxtaposing with your country's examples. So that is a really welcome move. So we would love to have it.
All right. Thank you.
Okay.
That was also a very good question.
It was a wonderful question.
Yeah, because we have been told, as ma'am rightly said, all the academic counselors also have been advised by the program coordinators to include examples of to contextualize when they take their classes, so that they would be doing.
Okay.
So maybe we can close with, I compliment everyone, congratulate you for your admissions and all the best for your learning journey with IGNOU. I'm sure you'll have a great learning journey, and you have to be proactive in your learning efforts. Be in touch with the LMS, with the IGNOU website, and be in touch with our email and clarify your doubts timely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Maybe
Thank
we
you,
can
Dr. It was really this thing. And I hope you will enjoy interacting with Colonel Kohli and Dr. Anshuman, and you will really love the sessions. Because I have worked with Dr. Kohli, so I can say it with this thing. Even now, he's writing units lessons for us, and he helps us on various aspects when we deal with the program. We have some new programs also coming up in the disaster risk management. So we always bank upon this thing, and you will really, I'm sure, have good sessions with the counselors. Thank you and all the best. Okay, and any doubts, queries on academic, you can always email us, email Dr. Kohli and other counselors. So we are always there. Okay, just start the beginning. Don't worry about exams, assignments, and all. Just take this thing and relate it to your country experiences. Okay.
So let me take the opportunity to give vote of thanks. Firstly, I would like to thank Dr. Uma Madhuri, who is a professor in School of Social Sciences, and she was program coordinator of PGDDM. And then Dr. Binny Toms, the regional director, Regional Center Bhopal. Dr. Rajiv Kohli, he is academic counselor, and he'll be with us in many other sessions. And I would like to thank my colleague, Dr. Anshuman Upadhyay, Deputy Director, Regional Center Bhopal, and all the learners from the various countries, and for this wonderful session. And we expect very good academic counselings and learning experiences in the coming sessions. So thank you very much, and we'll meet you all very soon.
Thank you, Dr. Binny. Thank you, Dr. Smriti. Thank you.
Thank you, Uma ma'am. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.